This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, you guys should take all that, they were bad.
I want you to print it out like 10 pages.
Yeah. I'm looking to make sure nothing.
No, so
6 or 8 years.
6 or 8 years.
5 o'clock.
Yeah, even though I printed it, right?
It was just little bites.
Okay, call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
Okay, first item as usual, public comment.
So I'm requesting permission to give a tour of Evergreen Cemetery on May 19 from 1 to 3 for the Binghamton University Lyceum. That's their extension classes. So I'll be joined by other geezers as we stagger up and down. They're anticipating fewer than 15 people. So it's not going to be a traffic or a parking problem.
Okay.
Peter, did you say May 19th?
May 19th.
Thank you.
1 to 3 p.m. So it's on the paper here. Yeah, Peter, text it. Put it in the minutes.
It is.
I gave you one, Rod. There's one on their side.
I didn't know how to spell lyceum. I don't, what is lyceum?
It's a messed up word for a library. I believe it's, or it may be a reading room or, it's supposedly something to do with deep thought.
Oh.
All right.
That's me.
That's the first I've ever heard. Good. Thank you.
All right.
Should we vote on that, or we just say sure?
I don't know if that matters. You can make a motion.
Say sure, Mike.
I say sure.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Sure enough.
Yeah. I don't think we really have to give permission, somebody give it to her or something. As information, Peter, I had him call DPW, but you might be a better person, so people that talk to the ghosts are looking to go up there sometime. Boy. So maybe I have to go to you and the cemetery committee and arrange something.
I'm always willing to commune with whack jobs.
He called me and I was not the right person, so.
Yeah, just send them on.
He didn't invite me to go, I don't know how I feel about that.
Following me home.
People like that to get it up there. Any other public comment? Okay, moving on. Department head reports. Paul?
I didn't get my notes into paper. I will get it down on paper and get it out for the meeting minutes, but above and beyond normal stuff, we did a CPR for class for a local group. We're probably doing about 2 CPR classes a month on average. We had 5 EMT students float through from Tioga and Broome County EMT classes, and we did a new member interview and all that. 2031 has 123,000 miles on it. Still waiting some parts to come in. 32's got 118,000. 33 has 18,000, and the buggy has 44,000 on it. Pretty simple report. And do you want to take care of the membership application now?
Yep.
So I have a membership application for Tyler Miles. He is in the Broome County EMT class and needs a home to participate. He works up at Lockheed and all that. Yep. Yep. Right there.
Okay, I'll make a motion that, we accept Tyler Nelson Miles as a volunteer for the EMS.
Second.
Any discussion on that? So I assume you said he lives in Broome County, but works at Lockheed, so.
Yes.
Could be.
Yeah, he's been doing ride time at the station, so he's been hanging out at the station.
Shall we vote? Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it. I'm behind on paperwork, so if you guys are happy, I'm gonna head out.
Just send your report, Travis.
I'll send it to Ken, yes.
Paul, thank you for providing that CPR stuff.
Yeah, no problem. You guys all set on the AED stuff? I saw you guys discussed it after I left last month.
I think we gotta order it, right? Yes.
Yeah, we just have to.
Do we order, or you order, who do it?
Well, it depends. If you order physio control, you can order it through us. If you order the other stuff, the other one like PD has, they probably have an account already set up. You might want to order it through PD.
Which one's the better, which one are they trained on?
Well, so it doesn't really matter. If you get the physio control that are a little bit more expensive, it's plug and play into our monitors. You just pull the plug on the defib pads and they go right into our monitor. And you can get defib pads at a pretty reasonable price. So, the other one that PD uses, there's no real issue with those other than you gotta buy defib pads and they are cheaper. So probably in the long run, the ones that PD is using are cheaper and will work fine for what you guys will hopefully never have to use it for, hanging up on the wall someplace.
We can't just use jumper cables in the dark like that.
You can probably try. It's not, it won't be perfect. So I would recommend to, whatever box you choose to get, the common area here, make it easy access. Someplace that's visible between the two offices and wherever he likes to put it over there in the DPW that's easy, centralized, warm, that's heated.
Yep.
We're just gonna put the hall.
Okay. All right, so if it's the physio control one, you just have to let me know and I'll have Kevin order two. If it's the other one, then you probably just need to figure out where the account is that PD bought theirs from.
Okay.
How long before they gotta be replaced? Like, if they expire?
So sometimes the programming needs to be tweaked and the manufacturers don't want to support the old stuff, so, yes, it's more profitable to sell new AEDs. So if you get a brand new model that's coming out today, you probably have 15 years of support. If you buy a model that's out there, I'm not sure the exact time frame that they have to support after they sell it.
Kinda like iPhones.
Kind of like iPhones and anything else in the world.
Probably gonna be soon, that's fine.
Well, we can add Samsung phones and iPhones and laptops and all that.
I'm just curious what the life expectancy was as far as.
But it is still pretty good though, like.
Oh, yeah, I mean, for hanging out on the wall, the life expectancy should be a long time, because it's not running around in the vehicle and clamping around.
I just know there's certain things I didn't realize had expiration dates that do. I
Yeah,
didn't know that was one of them.
well, the defib pads have expiration dates, that's because of the stickiness of the defib pads. So that's one thing, and that's easy to do, you just put a little label on the outside of the box and say, and the batteries will need to be changed. How often do you guys buy batteries?
You know, maybe 3 years or so.
Okay, and they're anywhere from 75 to $150 for the batteries, depends on the time of the week.
We used to leave them in the cars all the time, it's killing them faster, so now we bring them in every night. It makes the batteries last a lot longer.
Makes sense.
So you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't get physio control. I mean, we work with PD, we work with the sheriff's office and the state police, and there's 3 different kinds of AEDs that are not compatible. So,
Now, do they require inspection?
you should open up the cabinet every once in a while and make sure, it's not complaining that the battery is low. All the AEDs have a self-check on them. So, open up the cabinet, open the lid of the AED, make sure there's no battery low light on it. Once a month, probably. If it's sitting in the cabinet, I'm sure the officers look at it every night. Yep, it's good, everything's there, because it's in and out of the car, it's in people's hands.
I'm sure they use them a lot more than we will here.
Probably.
Let's hope so.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's hope so.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yep.
All right, move on. Let's see, we'll do DPW, but we won't do the stuff on the agenda yet.
We're pretty much doing everything every day, same thing, potholes, grocery carts in this village. That's an ongoing altercation. We did do all the drains in High Lot, we sucked them all out, I don't know what's going on for, the paving part of that, if the frame and the chimney part of it need to be redone. But if we have to do it, we can do it. In the high part for the drains, the chimney that holds the brick up, holds the lids up.
You're talking Hyde Park or Hyde?
High Lot, did I say park? I say that all the time. High Lot. I did say lot? Thank you. High Lot.
They're gonna redo those driveways.
What's that?
They're gonna redo those driveways.
They're doing them?
That's what I understood.
Well, that's what I didn't know, so that's why I didn't do them yet. Well, there's something with heat. No, the chimneys is what the grates sit on, and they're all rotted out from the salt over the years.
Yeah, they'll definitely be.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what I
I
figured.
wanna say they're gonna change them to put bigger ones in there.
See, here's a kicker because
I
of
know the other lot, yeah.
excuse me?
I know the Court Street lot.
I thought they said it wasn't in the funding.
What I was getting at, Shimon Canal's drains, I believe it's piped into ours. I'm assuming, I can't look underground, but I'm pretty sure that one in the middle of the lot goes to R4 somehow. They're just holding tanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we sucked them all out. We've been doing most of the village as much as we can. We did do some trimming down on the horse track. Those trees overlapping that track. We've been doing that. We just unloaded our concrete that I'm making into bunkers. We have everything neat and organized that Alpine salt shed. That's what the concrete that you've seen outside there, that's what they're for.
Blocks.
They're blocks, yeah. We're gonna make bunkers and have our individual for people for wood chips. Instead of having a great big huge mountain out there, we're gonna have enough just for in the bunkers and keep it neat and organized.
Look at the mulch list.
Exactly, yep.
As part of just the village use or with public mulch?
Village use.
Village use. So there's something within the Climate Smart Communities program or something for programs like that?
What's that mean?
Like potential money or something,
We got a lot more down on Water Street.
yeah. So anyways, it's just something that we can keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm thinking like there's quite a few people come here to pick up mulch. So I'll keep a couple single axle dump trucks in that little bunker that we're building, but I just don't want it huge like it was and make it more of a nuisance around here. I wanna keep it clean, trying to clean up. So we will have it for the people, definitely.
Okay, so it could possibly pay for help to organize it or maintain
It's,
it or.
to be honest with you, Laura, it's stuff that we pick up off the grounds from the village people anyway, that we chip into our dump truck.
Well, the thing is that we can get credit for these things that
You
we're
can get
already
credit, I'll give you
doing.
that. There you go.
So like your hours, or the guys' hours that are spent addressing that can count towards our work hours
There you go.
for climate smart stuff, so that we get credit for the, you know.
There you go, we do it every Monday.
Yeah,
So we chip every Monday.
yeah, so that can count for credit for us.
There you go.
So you gotta keep account of those hours.
Yeah.
We have
The number of people.
2 guys, 8 hours a day, on Monday. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can.
As everybody knows, I just got the bids back today for the street sweeper, and J&J Equipment were the only ones that did it. They were the ones that I looked into and really liked. On the back of your sheet, it breaks it down of what the cost was, $199,950, $50,000 down. It gives of left over $149,950. And he broke it down for the payments of what it would be yearly for 4, 5, and 6 years. Now, everything is up to what you guys want to take or do, or how we want to do things. But
So they handle the financing?
they can, yes. But also Rod's gonna look into the financing here to see what's cheaper.
Yeah, I've called, 3 different banks, waiting for them to come back with the price. I told them $150,000 for 5 years. Give us like $34,000. And so their rate for 5 years is 4.85. Banks are cheaper, we should go to the bank. So you can ask Nate how you do that.
Nate, is that all the information you need as far as creating something for next time?
Yeah, so just whether we're gonna do a bond resolution or lease financing, so whichever one is the lowest interest rate after the banks respond to Rod. But yeah, I think I've got everything else.
Okay. Yeah, we should know from the banks this week, probably. So we'll put something together for next time.
This is the one that was not used, but it was new, but it was,
This has never been used.
this is not,
This is,
was the
okay,
one we talked about before, $170,000?
$117,000,
No, that's the other one, was the other one 170 or 199?
$199.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, this is the brand new one, right?
Yep, no,
This is brand new used. If you
No,
want,
I
you want-
I just said written down 100.
if you want to know why, how it's
$170,000.
used, do, how are we gonna look at it? No, it's brand new. What happened is that they had it in their showroom. They don't want to keep it there and keep paying for it, so they took $50,000 off it. So the $199 is $50,000 off it.
So it should have been 250.
Correct.
If it's brand new.
Right, but it is brand new, brand new.
Right. That's a full
So the
one.
other 50,000 you're talking about is what we're getting back from the county?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Allen County,
that would be the down payment.
which we did get it from the town.
We got 25,000.
We haven't got it from the county yet.
Yeah, they will.
I'm not trying to make trouble, but
They're
you both wrote down the same thing last time, that we were getting an Elgin, and it was 170 grand.
Elgin, it's not an Elgin. The Timco.
Okay.
This is the Elgin, the old one.
Old one,
Well, Elgin is the used one.
yes.
The Timco is the state.
So the Elgin is, this is the Elgin one we have.
No, we have the same thing, Timco.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you're right. That is an Elgin out there. The old one is a curb tender.
Yes, the used one.
Used one's a curb tender.
I'm not trying to make trouble, I'm just saying, we both wrote, because we write down everything that's said in this, we both wrote down 170 grand for an Elgin. That's the new one that's used, but apparently that isn't right.
Ours is an Elgin out
All
here.
right.
Can we get any credit for that one?
I can't say yes or no. Everybody I've talked to and everything I've looked at, they're going about for $5,000.
Okay.
So I don't know, I don't know. I guess I haven't pushed the issue because I didn't know where we're going with this. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna be putting probably $100,000 in this one. Going out here, the Elgin out here.
Oh, yeah.
The whole underneath carriage has gotta be done, the whole pony motor's gotta be redone.
Yeah, to fix it.
Yeah, to fix it.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't know which way we're going. If we weren't gonna do nothing, then I've gotta do something if I have to. Somehow, yeah. And if we went with J&J, he would put it on his website for it in his business. I mean, we can sell it too. I have a pushy issue because I don't know where you guys are going yet. Yes, sir.
It doesn't matter what I didn't get right last time, and we wanted diesel, this is diesel, this one.
Yes, sir.
We wanted diesel.
We do that. We do. It lasts longer. What I like about this one, I mean, as you can read the second page, it's stainless steel, it's 0 hours, it has the warranty.
Yeah, we know all that, but I'm just trying to get some of these details.
The one for this street tender is only like a 450 chassis. It's a lot smaller. I mean, do we need something bigger? I don't know. But what scares me is paying $117,000 for something goes wrong with it, and now we're screwed.
I think we already went through that, and we didn't want that. I'm not trying to make trouble. I just
No,
wrote
I'm
down
not
a bunch
saying
of
you were.
stuff last time, and everything I wrote down seems to not be this, so maybe somehow last time.
Maybe you gotta work backwards on it. I probably could have said
Doesn't
something wrong.
matter, so I'm just trying to get it straight from what I wrote, so anyways, diesel.
J&J
199.
equipment is a Timco.
Yep.
Bradco was a curb tender. Elgin is what we have out here.
Okay.
So we need to take action on it tonight, or wait till we get the,
No, we can't until we get the rate from the bank.
get the financing, right?
Put on the agenda.
I'm just letting you know that the bid's rolling today.
Well, the bid.
The bid.
Sorry. I mean, the only other option would be to just buy it, but we've got 200 grand sitting around.
No.
Okay.
Anything else? I mean,
No, I'm
it's on the
done.
agenda.
I'm already sweating.
Very good. Owego fire contract. So this has been back and forth between us and them. And we asked where it was at, and apparently they said that somebody needs to approve it to start with. So, everybody get it with the agenda?
No. My agenda was just a repeat, like 7 times of the agenda.
No, they changed it, but,
That's it.
This one here. Telephone contract,
Here's the
27
contract.
grand, is it more?
27, I think is.
Yeah, 27,000.
This is a copy of the contract.
Oh, is this gonna go retro for 2 years, or how's this gonna work?
That's a neat question.
That's what they said.
I'm assuming we've been servicing them for 2 years.
We have.
So when does this contract go from to date?
Says on the front, Mike, retro to January 1st, 2021.
Yeah, and up through, I think, the end of next year, maybe?
The end of 2023.
First 23.
So the end of this year.
So it has to be renegotiated again at the end of the year.
Yeah. So we'll get ahead of it this time. Thanks, Peter. So basically, this is, as a recap, this is the existing contract. We stripped any reference to EMS out of it and changed the price to $27,000 instead of, it used to be 42 something, 43, something like that.
Okay, this is a 3-year contract.
That's correct.
Do we want to be talking about some of this stuff in executive, or do we want to be talking about this out here?
I mean, do you have any changes to it? Like,
This doesn't talk about the year 2020.
does not.
And we are owed for 2020. Do we want to talk about this out here?
That would be a Nate question, I don't know. Because this contract was January 2021 through 2023. I don't know what happens in 2020 when we have no contract.
We know what's supposed to happen because we went and talked to him about it.
Nate, should we discuss this here or go to an executive session?
I mean, if this relates to negotiations concerning the contract and you folks want to have an executive session about it, I think that you can.
Very diplomatic answer.
So, Rusty, you saying that,
I'm saying I don't know if I want to
town
talk
of
about it.
Tioga paid through, 2019,
Yes,
Correct.
and they skipped a year.
yes. And we talked with them about that, so I don't know whether this is something to be talked about in executive or something to be talked about here.
Well, did they have a proposition?
Well,
I don't know if we should talk about it here. I keep saying, you want to talk about it here, and I'm saying, should we talk about it here, or should we be talking about it there? That's what I'm trying to settle first before we do talk about it here, if we shouldn't be talking about it here. You know what I'm saying?
now we're gonna have just a quick executive session. So if we're gonna do an executive session, I've got 3 things to have it on.
Uh-oh. Well, you know what? You know what? Let's have the people that don't need to be here can go home or whatever they need to or whatever.
I just have one thing. Is there anything I need to know about Strawberry Festival? Strawberry Festival, is there anything I need to know about it, changes or anything? So I gotta write the plan starting.
Because we gotta get it to New York State.
I don't know, the one thing that came in was, we approved a law last meeting for like a building code law. And the Strawberry Festival does have to get an operating permit. It's a new thing because it's a gathering of over 1,000 people.
You have to get one from the code officer.
Oh, yeah.
It's a new requirement.
New section 92.
Any
New requirements.
over 1,000 people has to get a gathering permit from the code officer now.
Yeah, it's called an operating permit.
Which
Operating or gathering?
Operating.
Which nobody knows what that means, by the way.
I'm a codes guy. Okay, that's all I need to know.
And I guess we didn't settle the traffic for Friday night, the street closures for Friday night in the last meeting. And so that is like unsettled, but not a barrier.
So you wanna settle it after your executive session?
Or we could do it now, and do the executive session after that.
Whatever you want.
Okay, I've been talking with the chief about this, for numbers of days. I didn't get the final stuff today. He's doing some things right now. So the discussions were, are we gonna close Court Park or are we not? We understand that we'll make a decision whether they're gonna close here first, then we'll go to the state and see if they'll go along with it. So we understand that we can't do it unless they let us do it, but we have to give them direction of what we want to do.
Right.
So I don't have the final definitive answer, so it's hard for me to speak for the chief, and nor does Jeff. But the way that is looking is that we will try to close them on Friday. And we're worried that the state will not say we can, but we will try to close those. And the feel was to close them not as early as they might have wanted, so that we can get as much of the rush hour traffic through there. Jeff says no.
We close Court Street every year.
Okay.
The question was Park Street.
Okay.
So what do you know on that?
Well, they wanted to close the street really early to set up vendors and all that, and we pushed back on that, which is what we did. But then the question was, is closing Park Street at 5 o'clock, trying to get some of the rush hour traffic through. When we left it open and made it a two-way street a few years ago, we had people walking down along parked cars. We were very concerned that the pedestrians are getting too close to traffic. So we wanted to close Park Street like we always do on Saturday, push traffic down around Academy and out so that we're not having people, because we have a big crowd that runs from the main venue to Duncan and then to the fireworks in the Parkview. So it's always a traffic nightmare there. We have to shut Park Street down to let pedestrians cross. If we close Park Street at 5, just push everybody down like they're gonna do all day Saturday, it just simplifies everything.
So,
And we have to get initial approval from the board and then run it by the DOT.
So the thought, once again, not definitive, but the thought from speaking with the chief is that we would close court and park at 5 o'clock, not close court at whatever. Doesn't make much sense to leave park open till 5 and close court at 2. That close them at the same time. We were thinking about closing them at 5 so that we can get as much rush hour traffic through there without frogging around as we can. Because Friday starts rush hour in the middle of the afternoon. It's a nightmare. So that's the thought.
Is that?
And then it has to go, obviously, and one of the reasons Jeff needs to know is to get it to the state
We
as quickly as
need to
possible.
apply for the permit right after April 1st.
Yeah, so, the idea is that, I mean, there's things with that.
I'm fine with closing them both at 5.
Yeah, what's the problem with it? You said there's things with that.
I mean, obviously the state has to approve.
Well, there's things with the police department and the Strawberry Festival about, as we do some of these things, about how many officers are gonna be there, how much they're gonna pay for it, what we're gonna have to do for it. Those things haven't been ironed out with them. And then there's still a concern about whether or not we request or demand that they do something about parking instead of having the village overrun with parking on Friday night, whether that it's going to be requested or demanded that they have parking at Hickory's or somewhere and run a bus, and that's a significant expense, so that hasn't been absolutely.
Well, no, but the street closures,
A street closing?
I think that's safe just to close court and park.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a mess. Then your track goes right before the fireworks, I guess it'd be more of a mess. You got people stuck in the middle.
We're talking 3-hour difference.
So I guess should we
Give the permission.
do a motion to close park at 5, court and park at 5? Obviously, with approval from the state.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's just our piece of it.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to close, court and park at 5 p.m. for the Strawberry Festival on the 16th, right?
I believe so, yes.
Friday night, whatever.
Friday night, 16th.
I'm saying that.
More discussion on that?
Just, we're gonna do it, and Jeff's gonna do his thing. The last caveat is that the chief is the final word, so you'll go back to the chief and you'll make, so just, we approve it, the chief having that final word.
I think you always has that word.
Can we put that in there?
Final decision, yeah.
We approve it and the chief has the final.
What is the likelihood of the state approving this, and if they don't, what's our plan B?
So
We don't do it.
we've always run Court Street closed Friday night and all day Saturday. Park Street we left open 2-way. This will be the first year in a while that we've closed Park Street. But after talking to everybody that was working at the one night we left it open, it was a disaster. It was just, there's people that just have no concept of the traffic. So it makes it a lot safer. because the trees are taken out of the park, which looks beautiful in the courthouse square, I have a feeling that it's gonna be a busier area this year. So it's gonna reroute it, and we've already talked to the DOT and got preliminary approval to keep Front Street closed from 11 PM at night. Front from Church to Court will remain closed from 11 PM at night to 5 in the morning, which we would usually just reopen for a short time. That way, some of the bigger vendors can set up and then just stay set up. It cuts down on loading the big amount of people in on Saturday morning. Yes.
So with the intention of that can remain overnight, the Strawberry Festival committee planners, you're not like having them set up any booths like that on Court Street to stay overnight or anything, or allowing that, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
But that is new to, I think that's new to close Front Street overnight. We kept Front Street open overnight, but that's not our big problem. Our problem overnight is the through traffic.
Yeah, but when they talk
Not a
about
bad idea.
Ron Romanowski, I mean, if we get 5 tractor trailers all night long coming through the village,
Yep.
that on Friday night to Saturday morning, it's a big deal.
Yep.
It's gonna be a lot of trucks.
Well, after the fireworks on Friday night, is, Gordon Park reopened
Yes.
overnight?
Yep.
Always.
Yeah.
As soon as we clear the bridge
Yeah.
of ordinance, we open it up, we flush the village out, and then we just we'll keep Front Street closed. That way some of the bigger vendors can stay set up. And then at 5 AM, we close everything back down, at Lakefront and Church gets shut down so the vendors can start loading. And then we close, Court and Park. We close Court Street usually around 6 AM, and then Park Street, we close like 7 or 8, depending on traffic. Because Park Street's never used for setting up vendors, it's more for moving traffic, but it's just, we want it closed for safety purposes.
I thought last year, they did use Park Street, or, the cornholes.
They did.
So
That was
that was
Saturday.
closed.
We leave it open, Friday night usually, move traffic through the village and then close it all day Saturday. This time we're just gonna close it Friday night for safety.
Makes sense.
Allowing vendor booths on Friday night on Court Street. Or not, I would hope not, but
I can't say for sure. They initially had asked to close Church Street along with Front, and we said no. On Friday, we said no. But Church Street is closed on Friday night, but they wanted to leave it closed, and we said no because we still need to move stuff around. Can't have the whole downtown shut down. We need to get a fire truck or ambulance in there too.
Right.
So we're gonna do that, leave Church open. And then this year, we've always had a problem. We spent a lot of time last year looking. In the mornings, especially Friday evening, Friday afternoon, and Saturday mornings, we had a lot of out-of-town vendors come in across the Court Street Bridge. Some of them had fairly large trailers. So they always had to swing way into the middle of the intersection at the end of the bridge to swing back onto Front Street. This year, we're shutting that down. You're coming in the village, and if you're a vendor, you have to enter the venue over by the barley corn. So it'll be one way in, or Lake Street. We'll let them in both ways. And that way we can run traffic through the village as long as we can before we shut things down. Try to resolve another problem, because that usually backs up there for a while. Trying to alleviate that problem.
All right. So the change, we have the motion for the 2 streets at 5 o'clock. And that's gonna be opened up after the fireworks, blah, blah. And then that other change is the Front Street to be closed overnight, which we haven't done in the past, but we're gonna do that this time.
Church to Court.
Right. Yeah, that's what I meant by Front Street. Well, that's what I meant by Front Street. We don't close the rest of them. Yeah, and there's that's just new, so we're gonna do that. And part of that too is, we wanna put up some barriers and stuff, and so we might want barriers up there Friday night. I'm just saying the barriers up, moving them, putting them down, that's problematic, so this will help with that. Okay. The motion was Court and Park at 5, final approval by the chief. Is that okay with the final approval by the chief?
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yo, but yo.
All right, Spook, Rusty.
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Charles.
Yes.
And yes.
One other thing. I took the chief down to look at the Tiger Trails building today. Got a lot of bricks that look like they're about ready to fall. He is extremely concerned, as I, about people being around that. The barricades that were put up by the owner have been moved by people. People can walk fairly close to it.
I saw cars parked there the other day.
We put up no parking signs and people moved it.
The sidewalk.
Yeah, we need to shut that sidewalk off, and I think we might want to get rid of those 3 parking spots temporarily. But I'm very concerned about Strawberry Festival, that we need to have some kind of a buffer there in case we have a brick come down.
And we need, you mean like a solid barrier instead of just that tape?
We need something to keep people out. Snow fencing or something to keep them out.
So do we still have those fences?
now?
There's no fences on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's.
He wants to do, he wants to do.
I say solid, like wood or metal or something like that.
But he mentioned like the cities do, they put the scaffolding up with a deck on top so nobody gets crowned with brick.
Okay. Now, would that be the responsibility of the owner of the building?
Should be.
Good luck, we're not gonna get it from
Does that whole sidewalk close off?
them.
Did anybody test the trajectory of a brick falling from the top to see where it will land?
What's the fire department standard? 1.5 times the height, so that closes all of Main Street.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. Rusty.
So, right now, the orange snow fence, is that been knocked down? And
More so in the front of the building than the side.
I see it as you go up Lake Street, it's on the ground, so we need to solidify that, the orange fence. And then we need to, at Strawberry Festival time or whenever, we need to do something better.
I think we can do something better.
So do something better now, yeah, okay.
I think we should wait till
You always had the option, if you want to close those parking spots, to do a limited emergency declaration for those 3 or 4 parking spots. Close that.
Yeah, those parking spots were closed and somebody moved all the stuff.
I had my guys put up, because they found a couple bricks on the ground, we were afraid more were coming down, so I had them do it for a weekend a few months ago. But, you know, we could do an order, and then we could maybe even drive something in the pavement, or do something so it's a little more permanent to keep cars from parking in those spots until we get this resolved.
Do we have any tire blowing strips?
Tire blowing strips, we do.
What is that?
We used one on a pursuit car.
We got a couple booths, don't we?
Yeah,
Well, is the property right now in the ownership
I
of the
could,
bank?
and I could use these big orange things to block off, but I'm gonna need them during Strawberry Fest.
George and April.
I just wanna buy 3 more.
So, I don't care, still,
I thought there was some sort of dispute.
they might go to the county for bad taxes. It's on the phone commercial.
So like I had to dig into, is not buying them now?
That's what's supposed to happen.
Might be.
It's not definitive, Frank.
Well, we need to know who the owner is right
I
now.
understand, but it's not definitive, we can't. know that.
Notify them that they
Don't
don't
get
put
to
up
know
that
that.
barrier.
George and April probably own it, they're in Washington, they've got a contract to sell to somebody from Binghamton. We're not gonna be able to do that, the thing we want right now, which is hold somebody to it quickly.
Realize somebody gets hurt with a
Well,
brick
then they
falling,
own
it's
it.
falling on them, not
Then
us.
that's right, that'll be there.
They're the owners of the building. Shouldn't, if the board, if the village puts up a barrier there, shouldn't the owners be billed?
Yeah, they will.
Code a lot, if I remember right, I mean, a little bit about the code. The code does say that you can require, the code enforcement can require a structural assessment at the owner's expense. And you just adopted all the new code laws, so there's most likely under any new code law is a condemnation process that the village board can take and then go to a Supreme Court for final action. So that's always in your toolbox that was probably just adopted within the last month.
$250 a day fine for the violation of this, when sidewalk is, closed around.
And $1,000 a day per violation for a building code violation.
Yes.
It's unclassified misdemeanor.
There's already a ton of fines built up there.
It seems like nowhere goes away.
So, we have shut off the sidewalks and we've shut off the parking spaces and
Parking spaces are back open.
It's just not on our behalf, it's because the people threw them open the sidewalk, the cones.
But should we close them more permanently? I guess what I'm
But you
saying.
can close, I'll put Jersey barriers there if you want.
You can put, or like I say, you could either pass a resolution to block those out, or the faster way is we can do an emergency declaration for those 4 parking spots, or just an emergency declaration for 100 feet of parking space between Lake and the property line of the movie theater, that there'll be no parking on Main Street. And then that's a quick resolution, your signature, and it's a done deal.
Probably the mayor and the police chief can do that. Emergency without us.
The reality is, Lake Street probably shouldn't be open either. It's not safe to drive through there.
That's
Even the theater should be away.
I mean, that's the reality of it.
The reality of it, theater shouldn't be open either.
In the alleyway into the parking lot.
I know the Main Street side does that.
Main Street side is where it's hanging.
Yeah.
They're up and down.
The Lake Street side looks a little better. Just looking at it. But I don't know.
okay, so are we gonna have Freddie, are we gonna have Fred, block that off better, the sidewalk part better?
Yep.
How are you gonna do it, Fred? No, I'm just saying.
No, I'm thinking.
Even if it's just putting that fence stack up a little more, at the very end.
You know how many times I've worked on that fence, something gotta be more structural. The fence doesn't stop them, it doesn't deter them. They'll throw the cone in the parking, back in the sidewalk. They'll knock over the fence and walk over it. There's gotta be something more.
Jersey barriers.
How about we put, you could do that under emergency declaration too, close the sidewalk. I could draft one for the sidewalk for both sides of the building and the parking.
But what do we?
We're already closed the sidewalk.
Huh?
But what do we put there is a question.
I'll figure something out.
Well,
I'll
you
make
know,
something
you can put
structural.
signs up that say no trespassing by emergency declaration article 2B, the New York State executive law.
They'll probably throw them on the ground too.
Most people can write
Yeah.
tickets, you can write tickets for being
I
on the
could tap
sidewalk.
con, I might build something, tap con right to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I do something.
Right, those chain link fences that look like construction sites are temporary.
I don't know. Rusty?
This is not a decision like the board needs to make. This is a, mayor runs the village, department head, this is you guys figure out what needs to be done and take care of it. This
Yeah,
is
no,
not,
we gotta put something better there.
yeah, but I say, that's not up to us to figure out what's better and talk all about it. It's just not our thing.
Until the code issues get fixed.
public safety.
I'll draft a 2B declaration for you tomorrow.
Okay.
You can look at it.
The village technically owns the alleyway between, the Lake Street side and the Tucker Trails building.
Nope.
No?
Who owns it? Who owns it?
We don't own any of those alleys.
And I'm not sure if it's Owego Trails or the movie theater. It's gotta be one of those two.
No, on the
The
Lake Street
the
side.
walking one on Lake Street is not owned by the village, and the driving one on Main Street is not.
That one next to my store? That's on my.
That's not the one in your store, the one next to the Trails walk.
My alleyway?
Yes, there is.
The
And
walk.
Between that and the Travis Trails and the old CBDs.
we had to
Yeah.
repair something,
Electrical
electrical
box.
light, because one of the village lights is on it, and the village owns the alleyway.
Okay,
I don't think that was the issue.
No, that's right, by ADT.
Driven by a village employee.
Oh, that's it, that was it.
Oh,
village doesn't own any of those alleyways, and I doubt
we
they
just
own,
had to pay for repair in
I
the
doubt they
alleyway.
own, I doubt they own that alley, they don't own any of those alleys.
Let me just draft a 2B for tomorrow, and you can take a look at it, see what you want to do.
Alright.
Well, I'll be in days tomorrow.
But, yeah, that is an issue, we gotta black that out better. it's not safe. We can't fix the building, but we can at least block it off so somebody doesn't get hit with a brick.
Got everything you need?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got nobody gets hurt.
How you doing, Mike? Nice you to join us. Did you move your truck ahead?
You do your thing.
I was at that training over at the county office.
Okay.
That I thought ended at 6:30, but.
Seven.
Better late than never.
They
Seven thirty.
removed
We're gonna
the food,
do the,
No food.
yeah.
Way to get people out there.
So we're gonna do, well, we need a motion for
we're
an
gonna do the hiring
executive
of the,
session. No, we need to talk about that. Okay, we're gonna do a motion for an executive session on attorney-client session. And the, I don't know the right terminology, but the hiring, firing, whatever,
Personnel.
employees.
What was the, so those, what was the
Employees.
employees, what was the,
Two employees.
yeah, yeah.
They can all bend into the one.
What was the other thing we were gonna do it for?
Contract.
Oh, the contract, yeah, yeah.
Nate, did we get that right? Probably not.
No, I mean attorney-client session and then matters relating to the employment of a person. Those are fine.
Person.
Can we do that with this on, so we get the.
Yeah, I just turn it off. I'll mute us.
Okay.
Who made a motion?
So moved. Did somebody make it?
I'll make it.
Second.
Rusty, vote, Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
Brian?
yes.
Ditto.
And yes. All right, so I'm gonna turn us off here and mute us. Nate, you'll still be on, so yell at me if you can hear us.
Okay.
Are you gonna call my cell?
We're gonna call them or leave them on?
Yes, I'll call you.
Call me.
Probably will.
No more turnaround for you.
Oh, you hung around, Mike. It has a lot. We lost Laura. Must be going back.
Just getting Rodney and,
Oh, that's right.
Fred.
Yeah.
If you get coming in late, Mike, make us sit outside. Don't ever do it again.
Well, that's what you guys get for sending me to the training over there.
Welcome back.
First part was already, second part was boring.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
You know, when they say quick, it was not.
Never done, nothing that quick.
Raj, come in, you just need that.
Brad needs a third soda. Brad needs a third soda.
He took it back.
Yeah, Rodney took that already.
Right.
Slamming it.
He's slamming it down.
Thank you, sir.
I didn't know Freddie was here.
No.
Was that the theme song for the tonight show?
All right, you drink a couple Pepsis back there? Oh, yeah, you got a fresh one, huh?
Let me shake it up for you.
Captain in there?
Mike, we got something that's not really hard to do.
Well, none of it's hard to do now. Just do it in the right order.
Go talk to Fred for a second. Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to know if it was okay to.
We could do a resolution on a public hearing. So we've got a resolution that we have to do, to set a public hearing on the Public Service Commission on hydrant rents.
It just circumnavigated that whole thing.
This is this whole,
I'm not, it doesn't matter.
this is the
I'm over it.
yeah, trying to get the fire hydrants on the water bill.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to approve a resolution to schedule a public hearing for April 3rd, 2023 regarding petitioning the Public Service Commission on hydrant rents.
I second.
Any discussion on that? Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Yeah, yes, abstain.
Technically do this one.
To the bathroom. We're gonna do the stupid stuff, special meeting, it's a big.
That's all.
I got this one too.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the Owego County Kids Picnic with full use of Marvin Park on July 15th, 2023 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
I'll second that.
Still gonna be, playground equipment thing?
Well, so that's why they said full use, because we're thinking they're gonna have to have it on the fair board side. Because our side might be torn up still.
Okay, that's not been seconded, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
But-
say possibly?
Shouldn't say no fee.
Right, so yeah, have that there.
I'd like to
We're not gonna
rectify that by saying without the fee for the use of Marvin Park.
No fee.
Okay, and I second.
Yeah. So any other discussion on the kids?
I'm somebody's kid, can I go?
You've got, how about that?
They give away backpack packs.
Yeah, no, that, that's a lot of people realize.
Bicycles?
Bicycles?
He's doing a, Cindy, will be up there.
It's a VFW.
My kid wants a car now.
I don't know if they give away trucks. I'll start going with them. All right, Laura,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Charles,
Yes.
and Jim.
How about the Arts?
Give me a second. I don't need it.
Special meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to approve the scheduling of a special meeting for Monday, March 27th, 2023 for design review of the proposed art park on North Avenue.
What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Fran, that's what I meant to say.
Second.
Any discussion on that? So Hunt wants to come and show us the latest plans of the art park and get our input.
So it'll be open to the public?
Every time they show us new plans, it costs us thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So anyway, we want to have a separate meeting just on the art park, because that's the one, you know, the most
Most kind.
design that has to happen. Shall we vote? Laura?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles? Yes. Yes. All next Monday, 7 p.m.
I'll stuff it in for one more thing. We have to deal with it.
So we stuck that in there so Rob would have an extra meeting.
Back down to 10 cents an hour.
Monday, I'm gonna make one for Tuesday,
Bring us
Wednesday,
cookies.
and Friday. Yeah.
Ron, you need to bring us cookies for you going away party.
I know.
You should just come buy some from my going away.
I'm ready. Flood damage,
Can we do OHPC is on my list. After you have
Yeah.
some.
No, they went to the factory.
You got it.
we can do the OHPC.
Okay, it's a public hearing.
We tried to knock off as much stuff when you were gone as we could.
Yeah, we know who the squeaky wheel is for
It's not listed.
What fast enough we get on?
Yeah.
What is,
What do we do?
what are we doing for?
So for OHPC, annually, we approve the appointment of the ex officios. So this is sort of a standard thing. But last month, we appointed Ira, Nadine Bixby, we accepted her resignation, and then we, put Ira Rosenheck into that term slot. And so we've since gotten his resume, everybody's looked at that, and then there's another member. All right, so,
Interesting person.
yeah, and then there's another interested person that we can approve tonight to join as a member, as a ex officio member.
That's a non-voting member.
That's right, and it's Jeff Smith, and we have his resume sent to us out. He used to be on it, and, you know, has worked on a lot of projects. So with that, so I would move that we accept the ex officio's designation.
And I think I might have to make that, so put me down.
Okay.
And then we have to vote on it.
So if say the mayor appoints Jeff Smith, the board's gonna approve by making one.
Correct. That's what I did, yeah. Okay. So Laura, I'll make a motion to accept my appointment.
Yes, I do, thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, perfect. Shall we vote, Rusty,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes, Jeff.
Jeffrey, John,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
So we're going through that now? Well, we'll keep knocking stuff off. We got a flood damage CD, and a cemetery CD.
The plug on the $30,000, just put that away for the rainy day, extra money for flood, to cover the flood deductibles.
Where's the money coming from?
Our end of the year, what do you call it? The fund balance, I mean, we had money left over, because we didn't pay this bill this year, so we gotta.
Flood insurance.
It's a flood, it came out of the savings on the flood insurance.
Okay.
Because we didn't pay for the DPW for 26,000, we didn't pay for the central fire station for 28,000. So we're gonna take 30,000, put it away, and maybe this year, maybe a couple more years, and then we'll have it, in case we ever really need it for an emergency.
Wait, when you were talking,
General fund.
we are still currently paying for flood insurance on those buildings.
No, we haven't. We have not paid.
Did we go to?
We didn't vote.
Right, I don't remember, did we vote?
Well, I'm thinking we did something. I mean, I announced it that we weren't doing it.
Well, we didn't
Well, did we-
vote to end it, correct?
That I don't know, you'd have to look into that, but we're not, what? What's your big current.
Question that was.
Do you have the authority to announce that we're not gonna insure these buildings? I don't know.
I did, you don't remember me doing it? Wait,
Remember
No,
questions of, are we able to do that as a municipality, and will it
yeah, we can,
jeopardize any FEMA funding that may come in as a result of a flood? I remember having those questions, and I don't.
we're not gonna. It's not worth it to spend $30,000. We got all the stuff already moved upstairs.
I understand the value, but I worry about our liability as far as, are we responsible to taxpayers to carry insurance on said buildings? And the FEMA question is one that I don't know the answer to.
I think you'd be foolish to spend your money on that.
I'm kind of nervous about like, the state giving us money to do repairs on a building that we're not insuring. Will they continue to give us money for the fire station upkeep if we're not insuring it? Like, aren't we required to have insurance at state funding to do these?
That's not that I know.
And then the flood restoration 2.0, the government glide goes up 18%, it maximizes the 18% per year unless, until we come up to actuary rates, unless there's any lapse in your payment, then when you pay your insurance, it goes up to the actuary rates instead of that glide amount. And so like we might be in a big problem to fundraise for a larger insurance coverage if we don't and need it as a requirement.
Well, I think we would never probably flood insure those buildings. Because there's very little risk, right? All the utilities are up. You're not gonna get any money from a flood insurance, it's just cleanup.
Well, say the state is gonna give us close to $1 million to fix up that building, right? And say they want the structure insured for a certain amount of flood damage.
Well, the flood is not gonna go over the roof of that building.
No, but there's foundation, there's a lot of structural stuff below ground, and the utilities in the building and all of that.
That question hasn't come up as far as the DRI funds.
Yeah, there's nothing that was ever brought up before.
But when they check all the boxes and that one doesn't have a check, and we, and the building and all that stuff needs to start, we might not have that requirement of having flood insurance on that building. We might run into an issue, so are we, maybe we need to research.
At this point, we don't have insurance, so I don't know what researching is gonna do. I mean, we're kind of stuck in this conundrum here.
This just moves the money into the CD.
I mean, so we're essentially trying to self-insure.
Right.
Yes, Laura's not addressing the moving of money from a general fund to a CD. She's addressing the general thought of the flood stuff and asking the question, should we be checking with the state and DRI to make sure that we're not screwing up? So because we get the money after the fact, if we've followed everything correctly. She's questioning, should we know ahead of time that we're gonna put all this money in the fire station, and then they say, oh, you didn't follow this, and so you can't have the money.
So
I get the question.
I can ask Julie, but as far as I know, that's not a question.
Is that, did I summarize what you're talking about there?
Yeah, we need to make sure that we're gonna get that money for fixing it up and, at any building that, like say in the past flood for the bookshop, when we got a grant, we were forced to have flood insurance and hazard insurance and all those things to fix up the building and at the bookshop, right? And so.
With FEMA money.
Right.
We're not looking for FEMA money here.
Yeah, but this is state money and it's in the flood zone, well-known.
I don't know. Well, I can ask Julie Sweet, but they haven't even brought up the word flood at all ever.
We'll check it. I mean, if it's worst case scenario, you'd have to re-get it, I guess.
Yeah, because we haven't gotten any DRI, if we got rid of it and we had to have it, we haven't gotten any DRI money yet, so we could get it back if the time is. Can I ask you the attorney question?
Yeah.
Hey, Nate?
Yep.
Do you hear me? Does Rodney have the authority to decide that we're not gonna insure buildings?
I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so.
the clerk treasurer doesn't get to decide that we're, we've insured X 5 buildings, and we're not gonna insure 2 of them this year, it's a bad money decision. He doesn't have any authority like that.
No, not on his own. No, I don't know when Rod. I mean, I don't know if that happened or not, but if it was part of the budget proposal, let's say that flood insurance would not be carried on X number of buildings, and the board then approved the budget, which only budgeted so much dollars for payment of the flood insurance premium, then I would say the board might have ratified that action or made that decision through that process.
That's when it came up.
Yeah, we did, but the ones we aren't doing is the 178 Main Street, the Central Fire Station, and the other fire station.
I'm not talking about the value of it, I'm talking about the authority of it.
Right, it was brought up in a meeting that this is what we're doing, and that's, nobody has said a thing about it.
When you bring up something and say, I wanna do this, and nobody says it, that doesn't approve
I
it.
mentioned more than one.
I do recall us discussing this before.
We did.
And, so maybe we need to go back and if this was, settled for budget purposes, we need to go back and look at the, minutes before the last couple budgets.
Yeah, it would have been,
We just did it this year, man.
it would have been the budget workshop, probably, which, I mean, it's all online.
Well, we need to review that.
Yeah, they're out there. I don't know.
Yeah, but, yeah, we brought up more than once.
It was during budget time, because we were talking about budgets and the rates and all that stuff.
We had insurance on it from the state for this project, They weren't told, or we weren't quite aware,
Right now, I understand that we talked about that issue, but I'm just talking about whether or not we properly did that, and if we didn't, I wanna do it properly. That's just that decision that was made. Now you're talking again about that building in DRI, you're shifted back to a different gear. I'm trying to get this piece.
Well, why don't we check and see if we need?
And you call up those meetings.
Yeah, we'll check and see if we really super need it, then we'd have to have it, but I was under the impression we did.
We generally need the village board to make all these decisions and make motions on all these things. If you make a recommendation and it just doesn't sound good and nobody objects, that's not how decisions get made.
Well, what I'm saying, Rusty, is I think we may have voted on it.
We might, that's what I
said, we
I
did
asked that.
review
Yeah,
previous minutes
I'll
to
have to look
see.
at it.
Yes, we might very well have, in which case my point is moot.
All right, we'll look into that.
But if we didn't, we need to.
Right, I think we may have.
Okay. And if we can get the budget and it, reduce the flood insurance by that number or whatever, then maybe that the presumption is that we decided in those budget hearings, but whatever we need to do just to make that code.
So it should be in the minutes if we voted to
Yes.
drop that coverage.
Well, okay, all right.
For the motion for tonight,
Well, let's not do anything on that, we don't have to do anything, we can just sit.
but
Don't do anything in that case I need it, in case I need it. Don't do anything.
Yeah, for
Because
putting the seat.
because you needed to buy that
Actually
insurance.
pays
Yeah.
insurance.
Because DRI says I gotta buy that insurance. I need that.
Don't do anything with it.
If you put in a CD, then we can't get that.
Well, I can do that.
So for future reference, Rodney has pointed out that the interest rates have gone up, and it's not a bad idea for us to take some of that general fund money that we're saving for something or something, and put it into a short-term CD for a higher interest rate than to just sit there. So that's part of that, which is a good idea, but maybe not yet on this.
but it would still remain a good deal potentially for the buildings that we do have coverage remaining on, most of them. Like this one
It's
here.
because there's a deductible. Right,
Yeah.
there's always a deductible on all these properties.
Deductibles.
We did, yeah.
Right, this would cover the deductible on anything.
This would cover the deductibles for everything that we know, like this building, the DPW building.
No.
Main Street?
Police, police
The
and
police,
courthouse.
police has it, DPW building doesn't have insurance, next door.
So here,
Next door, no.
this building 22
We
and
have-
the police station
They have
courthouse.
And the little fire station has it, the little flat one has
Okay.
Douglas
it.
Street.
That's it. I think. And all the ones at the sewer plant, they all have it too.
Yeah.
All the sewer plants have it.
Rodney, you wanna hold off on that CD for now?
Yep, let's hold on.
Move along.
It's been sitting here for a while.
I wanna say we checked into the DRI because we figured out that we had to have it on this because it was paid for by FEMA.
Yeah, we
Well, that's a
didn't.
good question to answer.
Even though it's not supposed to flood.
This building we pay.
We haven't had the big flood.
This building we pay $8,000.
$8,000
$8,000.
for this building, and if this one got flooded, it would be a loss.
And we're in trouble here because they built a floodplain with the flow through.
That's why we pay less.
So Rodney's logic of the fire, we're gonna get off this in another 3 seconds. Rodney's logic of the fire station isn't bad logic. That's a great big brick, concrete
Yeah.
block building. You can't hardly hurt it. This building, if you flooded it, it'd be gone. But,
And like I said, the 178, we got little water in the basement, and we moved all our utilities
Nothing's in the
upstairs.
basement.
So now we have furnace upstairs, we did all that stuff. So with that 30,000, if we had to do some work, we'd have plenty to fix that. That was just my thought. I hate to give it to the insurance company every year. But we'll look, let me go back to the old minutes, and I'll do some research, and I will get back to you.
Yep.
And the one with the $100,000, did I give everybody a copy? There's a,
just a motion or something else?
no, this was.
The him and Howard and Giselle?
There's something for him and our, back, this happened back in 2011. Somebody gave us roughly $100,000, and we just put it in perpetual care. Which I thought. Then we, reading the fine print the other day, that said, that money is supposed to be separate and to only be used to fix up the oldest headstones first. So I was gonna take the $100,000 back out of the perpetual care, put it in the CD, and then once a year, get money, and that's all it was for.
And doesn't it also say that only the interest can be used?
Right, only the interest.
So
So,
it should be in the CD, and we should be taking that interest out to do that.
As you said many times, Rusty, I mean, as a cemetery commissioner, I'm happy we found money that we can use.
Yeah.
But nobody's had a chance to look at,
we can hold off on it.
I mean, I think everybody should look at this, contract. I mean, it actually says in here there's supposed to be 2 separate accounts.
I never even do that.
So, I mean, I think,
Yeah, we can hold off on it.
You don't have to put that in, yeah, let's find out.
Does everybody have a copy of that?
I don't.
I'm with you, friend.
I'm
If you
open
don't
up
know,
till,
Did Rusty get one?
our regular meeting in 2 weeks.
We can make more copies. I have more.
I don't have it.
All right, so hold on, okay, hold on.
All right, payment of bills.
We're gonna go
Although
back to
that's
the,
legal ground, it's supposed to be treasurer.
Never done it the last week.
Yeah, we did that last one.
You
So,
pass it to the trick thing.
we did.
treasurer.
Treasurer's report, which is labeled as payment of bills, but the motion is right in the thing.
You sat on the payment of bills, Mike, you looked it over like usual?
It's the treasurer's report.
The treasurer report, not the.
Yeah, so are all these numbers accurate? As far as percentages?
Well, so they're accurate, but they're not. They're accurate, but they're not, so.
Because we have to transfer some money.
But there are, like, we need to adjust the budgets for DPW and the police. Because
Police was the biggest concern.
the police, if you remember right, when we budgeted that 875 and 44, we only had 1 cops guy, and we only had 1 SRO. So now we've got 3 cops guys, 4 cops guys, 3 guys, and 3 SROs.
And we're gonna get paid for all that, but that
We're
makes,
getting paid for all
it makes
that.
both of those numbers go up approximately the same.
Right.
So you're talking about this budget analysis?
So that 875 should be considerably more from the money we got coming in, which will make the 820 not look so bad.
And the DPW, are we waiting on chips or anything?
DPW is chips.
Just,
Yeah.
okay, we did all
Which we
the
just got.
So again, that 1,419,000 should be more. The one we spent, 1,122,000 is correct.
And I move to approve the treasurer's report for February 2023 as submitted by the clerk treasurer.
Second.
Any other comment? EMS? We are currently, year to date, up $174,000.
So there's
Should we do it
no problem
at
with
the end
any
of the-
equipment that we need.
They shouldn't have any trouble. Should be able to buy some AEDs. There. Let's
That's true.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And yes. Charles. All right, should we go back to the other things, maybe like the Owego Fire District contract?
So, what was it, the language we were gonna use there,
We are modifying the contract a little bit. We have to go over exactly what we're modifying.
no, Nate's gonna do that.
Nate's gonna do it.
Okay.
And he
No,
knows the
because
modifications.
you're gonna see it before you
Yes.
sign it. Move we approve the, proposed contract with the Tioga Center, Town of Tioga Center Fire District, Fire District,
Fire District.
With modifications.
Give me a minute, and authorize the mayor to sign.
As modified or
As
marked up.
as modified. Sounds good.
Charles, second.
I second that.
Yeah, perfect. Any other discussion on the contract? We're all clear with Nate, what to do? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
I suppose.
Yes. And yes for me. There you
That was the
go. Fire company.
fire cut down the center fire.
How should we do that?
Ayers or Ayers?
Huh?
Ayers?
Oh, the merit raise.
I got it. So I make a motion to approve a pay increase for Derek Justin. And that's gonna be to $16.50, effective March 27th.
1650.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes. I also make a motion to approve the hiring of James Ehrlich, full-time as an MEO. The rate of $16 an hour, effective March 28th, gonna give him a day off,
With a,
Minimum probationary.
minimum probationary.
I'll second.
Okay.
Any question of what that minimum is?
8 weeks. Any discussion on that? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
All right. Easy peasy. Oh, yeah, we gotta do, personnel committee. This is,
Make a motion to terminate the probationary appointment of Jody Chamoy effective March 17th, 2023.
Second that.
discussion on that. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Back to minutes?
I wasn't able to supply them earlier, so I just had a very few small things that hopefully we can just do. Okay, in the public comment, the first person, his last name is Vo, V-O.
Ben Vogt.
Yeah. And
I
then,
was just looking by his signage, he looked like a bee.
yeah, it's okay, it's just, it'd be good, yeah. And then in Jim Overheiser's Bigsby, Bigsby. Okay, page 4, after we approved the new local law, it says, I pointed out on page 14, it says operating permit. I'd just like you to include that an operating permit is required for events that have over 1,000 people. Just so that we,
So everything's in there except that over 100,000.
yeah, that it's like any event that has over 1,000 people. And then on trustee reports, my report, there's a motion, and Nadine's last name is misspelled, so it's Bigsby.
B-I-G.
That's right, Bixby. So Nadine and Jeff Smith were approved tonight as ex officio members. When we approved that, the slate.
Right. That's what they said now.
I think at the time I only mentioned Jeff Smith, but Nadine is one of them.
Maybe should be.
Yeah.
Is that it for the minutes?
Yeah, and so I'm comfortable proposing that we approve the minutes with those changes.
Changes and corrections.
Second.
Any other comments on the minutes? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Stay.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Trustee reports. Rusty?
Never remember till later, no report.
Perfect.
Didn't give the police report, which there was nothing from the chief other than the story.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it. Laura?
It's okay,
I
Yeah.
know.
it's a good thing.
However, I'm just trying to think quick. There was the training tonight that people went to. Thank you very much. I know at least 2 people I've heard, that, needed those.
Planning zoning board.
Yeah, they needed those hours in, and so I know thankful that they went. That's it. I can't remember.
Ron?
My last official meeting, I would just like to thank the board members for having me on the board, and I enjoyed a lot of our discussions, and thank the village residents for having a picnic.
Thanks for serving again at the next
Thank you.
meeting.
And that was part of my report was that, I think Mr. Pelton, who has served well admirably, and really sorry to see him go.
4.5 years. This is a tidbit. I really think term limits should be implemented.
Right.
You gotta worry about becoming complacent.
He's serious about that.
There's definitely a learning curve. In my first 2 years, I had no idea what I was doing. And
Right.
you learn more as you go.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have done at least one more, but with my business taking off, it just wasn't possible.
How long have we been in this?
No, I agree.
6.
6 years?
Yeah. Well, not for next year.
I would say this is the longest board of any board in history.
That's by the same people.
Yeah,
It is a long.
it normally just changes it within years.
It is a hard learning.
It's gotta be probably the longest board of.
Let's say that in 10 years, I won't run for mayor.
That's
My wife would shoot me. That's all I've got. Thank you.
You are definitely the longest board.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's ever been 2 consecutive boards ever.
I cannot remember 4 years.
Like one of the 3,
4 years that we've ever had the same.
You guys are definitely long.
So this is a 3-peat or 4-peat?
Four.
No, I'm talking about the learning curve. That
It
first
takes-
year I was,
You get trophies.
kind of trying to figure out, and I appreciate Rusty, informing me. He was always out there, just like Mike, and I'd go, Rusty, tell me more.
Yeah, no, it's a steep learning curve.
Got any more, Ron?
That's all I've got.
I think instead of 2-year terms, it should be 4-year terms, because you really have no idea the first 2 years, really.
That would make it easier, but also if you eat the wrong people, it's hard to get rid of them.
That is true.
Most people don't even bother to show up to meetings.
That's true.
It's a good time to remind people of the election tomorrow.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
here in this building
Yeah.
from noon to 9.
I'll get to it. I'm gonna put out a code red.
You got a ring,
Do we have a
sign
sign in the fire station window?
I'm ready to win for
Did
sure.
you go in your box today?
How you get your bird cover copies?
I don't need a big sign.
I don't want to watch. Good Friday.
But yeah, let's put up a sign at the fire station, don't here.
We need a good, big, good sign.
keep it moving.
Keep it moving forward.
Fran, what do you got?
Nothing on EMS, Paul's doing a great job.
I got a sign that you have to put up in front of the fire station, window tomorrow.
Okay, I'm good. I give it to you.
Cemetery committee, no report at the moment. John Rickliff met with, Fred and Rod, last Friday, and we have a cemetery committee meeting next week at 5:30, so after that, I'll have a report, once we take information back to the committee.
And I'll be there. I got recruited to come.
Well, you're gonna be here at 7 anyway, so.
I'll be here at 5:30.
Okay, good.
What day is it?
The 27th,
Oh, the 27th.
March 27th, 5:30 PM. Right here.
Right before the special meeting.
Yeah.
Did you find Judge Avery's clock?
Judge Avery's plaque?
Judge Avery's plot, I think at the last meeting said they were gonna have they're looking for a plot they couldn't find.
Well, they haven't been up in there. I mean, the cemetery is still closed until April 1st, so.
Well, we won't make any.
So that's all I have for tonight. Thanks.
Charles, what do you got?
We covered everything for DPW, and I have not heard anything that Jim requests, so that's all I got to say about that.
Communications, my big thing was election tomorrow here instead of the fire station. So I'll put something on Facebook. I'll do a code red and we'll put signs on it too.
You want to know,
WEO?
yeah, no.
What was the medieval thing that we got?
They were here last time.
You missed that one.
I saw the paperwork.
We're sending it over to your store.
I was wondering about the camping. Do we support that? I mean, I'm assuming fair people camp there overnight.
It's like the Civil War reenactment.
No, I get the gist of what they're doing.
I get that.
No, there was
As far as
something
the park-
approved. They just came to tell us about it.
But that counts.
As
They
far
have
as the park,
insurance for that?
So we're holding.
They're plastic.
as far as the park, most of what they want to do is on the fair board.
That's what it looked like.
Even the camping. So
They said Philadelphia, they have 10,000 people.
Even the plastic lanterns.
Just like, when they're camping, are they gonna be camping in tents with open flame or what?
no, I think it's trailers.
Run a boat.
Sound of it.
They could fill up the racetrack.
For like a lunch or something.
They have dragons and all that.
Yeah, I wanna use the damn park, I wanna use the park.
Right? Go for
didn't have bikes many more times.
I do. So, the other communication is, NICON's coming up, if you wanna go, Cindy. I don't know that I can go.
It's in May, right?
It's in May.
Middle of May, yeah.
That's like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I don't think you can go.
I gotta figure it out, it's a lot of
Yeah,
days in the middle of the
I
week.
signed up.
Grant signed up.
I don't know if
We
it'll
should
work.
get our new, board member to go ask them.
Yeah,
Where is it at?
Sagamore.
Sagamore,
I would like to go, but it's in the middle of the week, it's a lot of.
it's a beautiful place.
Working kids, I don't know.
Actually, too much money. I was trying to do it.
It is expensive.
It's a lot of money.
$400 a night.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I'll
But,
go up there and sleep in a tent. Save
but worth it,
$400.
especially like for our new, we get a new board member, plus everybody writes around it, that's what I'm planning on doing.
It just dawned on me, in the summertime, I'm gonna be the only bald guy.
Little grass and temperature.
Well, in the summertime, I like to keep it down.
That's
See, I can grow hair,
I still see that spot.
like a cheetah pet.
So mayor's report, we had our council of government meeting between last meeting and this meeting. And one interesting thing that came out of it was, these people from Tobacco Free Broome and Tioga came to talk about, other municipalities that adopted smoke-free policies for their village grounds, like parks and whatnot.
They didn't do this for marijuana, they did this.
No, it's for everything.
There's
There's
cigarettes.
cigarettes,
All
vaping, and marijuana.
all smoking.
So if we wanna have them come talk about what other places have done and their program, and get them to come to one of our meetings.
I think they should. We need to
And they've got some examples of
come
other
up with laws, smoking.
resolutions and laws that municipalities have passed that,
I thought there was already the Clean Air Act.
not outside. So this does it for the parks and outside areas.
We can't fire our guns in the public parks.
I know. And different municipalities have done to different levels, so, but they can explain a lot better than I can. And they have signs they can give you to put up, and that kind of stuff.
Came by my business when we first opened, giving us stuff in the window.
Yeah. So I can contact her and get her to come to one of our next meetings, give her a little pitch, see if we wanna do anything.
Or maybe like the second meeting in April,
Yeah, whatever.
because the first meeting in April, you get the,
Annual meeting.
Right, all the annual meeting stuff.
Yeah.
So. But I'll get her to come to one. Okay. They gave a good presentation. Other than that, I got nothing. Next Monday, Art Park, right here.
yeah.
Last thing, public comment.
I actually have something.
Oh, good.
I wanted to do it at the beginning, but
Well, you know,
You weren't
the
here.
meeting that thing ran over.
you had to stay till the end.
Should have been there, should have been done at 6:30.
Almost 10 o'clock.
Who is in charge of the pedestrian underpass on Page Street?
Just had that
We
discussion earlier.
did talk about that.
It's between us and the railroad, we're not quite sure.
Well, because there's a hole in the roof on the Page Street side.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Fred's supposed to be figuring out who.
Well, it looks like when you go in there, it looks like there used to be a window there, or something like a glass there. Somebody busted it out and they put plywood on it and then rubber over plywood. Well, now there's a hole in it. I showed Fred, he said that was new. He said it wasn't there the other day.
And the
Kids
underpass?
going through that is a big possibility.
But it's getting summertime, the kids are always up on top of that. They drive by, they're always sitting up on there. Some kid's gonna go,
Where's the inside of that thing look like?
Not very
Always
good.
loud.
well, anytime you wanna go down there, I'll go with you.
Well, last time I tried to go down there, there were shopping carts and about 3 feet of water,
Well, I didn't go all the way through, but
and there was no lights.
Water.
I could clear it out real fast, but I ended up getting arrested because you can't discharge it.
M80.
You can, you just
Well, I
can't.
wanna get one of those Burma guns, it's, shoot pepper balls. But as a form that, for evictions, cause I've had dogs sick, I've had pit bulls sick then. I don't wanna shoot the dog. ball the dog and I get arrested. Yeah, it's kind of little.
Although, Binghamton, they just lock those things right up.
Well, we were talking about that. We don't know if we can, if the railroad owns it. Might be a safety thing that has to be.
Who owns the railroad now?
Norfolk Southern.
That's not Steve Ray Railroad, that's not.
That's the big railroad. The one that keeps derailing all over the country.
That's,
Yeah.
I think about that all the time.
No.
Comes right through.
Oh, maybe
Same
Trump
trains.
will get us water.
Same
They
trains.
won't.
So anyway, but yeah, we gotta figure out.
I remember they used to do the best time to be in that underpass when a train was going by.
We got beat.
How to get away with murder.
Get away with a lot of things. That was my younger days.
Back in the day,
Many, many moons ago.
I'm.
a lot of moons.
Now all those things are legal.
The stuff, I wasn't there but, why I suspect that we put that on the railroad's permission. I've got a bad feeling, because we did it for the Boys Club. I got a bad feeling that it's ours, but I don't know that.
Probably is.
I believe we painted it. And
Oh, we've done
Well,
it.
that was
Absolutely.
This is it.
It's ours. It's a criminal security.
It is, danger.
Yeah.
Remember that, he had those things at Binghamton. They were saying about it. All kinds of interesting.
All right, any other public comment? We will check into that underpass.
We're good, Jerry.
All right, see everybody next week.
Right, Nate.